Right, back with a March update. Bit more of a normal one now with me on camera. I've got a few things to run through that I'll do first. So out and about as usual in Smith's, picked up an extremely good book that some of you might be interested in. It's this one by I'm going to butcher the name, but Kursk Sudin. He's as far as I can see, he's a Swedish chap who does a lot of profiles of aircraft and stuff. Now I think this is amazing for $7.99. There's also one on Allied aircraft and there's also one on British aircraft. It's all fighters, and there's a couple also in the series that are by for experimental bombers for German. So there is something for everyone. The Allied stuff's very nice, and extremely the RAF is extremely good as well. It's very much in the same vein. If you see, it is jam-packed full of profiles like this. They are obviously split along the page. You can't do much about that, but you know, it's just endless amounts. There's about 20 pages on the 109, going right up to the K and the later G models, as well as all the early ones. You've got the 109, the 110, the 190, running up through the D9s, and then you've got some more of the experimental ones. Nice one there on the Comet, which is quite good. And if that wasn't good enough, I would say alone it's worth it for this page at the back here, which gives a very good overview of the ROM colours there. So I find that extremely useful. And the old ROM 83 there at the bottom, which is widely shown as a green, here is a blue, which seems to be the new thinking on it. So very useful. It's got all the variants as well. There's 2 or 3 variants of each colour. So 76, there's 4 76s for instance. That's all 76. So yeah, very good. And if you're not into German stuff, well then there's the other one is RAF, and the other one, and there's another one called Allied as well. So which has got quite a lot of American stuff in it. So well worth having a look at if you're interested in that sort of thing. $7.99 in WH Smith in the UK. So there you go, a little bit of free publicity for them. Now I've been looking at a few kits, you know, that you see on eBay. They're sort of out of production kits. Certainly with the Spanish stuff that I do, is most of them are generally out of production, and I've missed the boat. They're from the 90s. So some of you might have these in your stashes, but it's very hard for me to find them. And this is one I've been after for a while. I saw it on eBay. It's 2 of these went for about 12 quid, and I didn't bid on them, and regretted that ever since. This has been, and I've got this, and it's quite considerably more than that, but I'm very happy to get it. So this is the AML Fiat G50, the Series 1 version, which has got quite a different canopy and a different fuselage setup. So it's a nice kit. It's short run, a bit like you probably expect from Azure. You've got a vac form canopy, 1 sprue of all the stuff, no numbers or anything, all locating pins, and there's a nice small etch fret as well. And it's not just Spanish, it's Finnish as well, marking. So it's a very nice one. If a few of you might want to keep an eye out for this. One of the nice early Fiats. There aren't many of these around. It's surprisingly neglected as a kit for some reason, but that's in 72nd. I got my eye on one in 148th as well, which is quite a nice kit. So I'll do a review of this so we can have a little bit of a look closer over next couple of weeks. And then there's this one as well, which is very hard to get hold of. I can only really see these available in America, but one of these popped up in the UK. This is the Norfolk Gamma, which is a very strange little plane. Only really of interest to me because there was one in Spain. It was a mail delivery plane, I think. It delivered the post, and then when the war kicked off, they painted it and put it into service. Now, interestingly with this, it's sort of half started, so I thought we'd have a look through this one as well at a later date, and just to show you sort of things you can expect if you're buying stuff second hand. I'm sure most of you have done it, but I see a lot of people saying it on Facebook and stuff about never bought kits second hand and just a few things to expect. Like for instance, all the raised panel lines have been sanded down on this bit, because I think the person was intending to rescribe it but never got that far, so it's just at the right point for me. I mean, the fact that it's actually glued quite well, but you can usually get it apart if you're very careful, and he hasn't actually started putting the panel lines in, which could have caused all manner of issues, so it's just the right amount. A very strange way it goes together as well. I've never seen anything like this. It's just bear with me a second, I will so you've got the fuselage that you put together in a normal way, and that sits completely on top of the wing, which is a bit of a different way to do it, like that, you know, you would have thought. Usually it joins together, so we'll see how that goes. I will be making all of these over the next few months in anticipation for Telford. I like to have a few things a bit different on the go. Then that leads me to the shortage of videos or anything that's been going up at the minute, because I've hit a bit of a snag with a whole load of kits. So I've got plenty on the go. I've got a couple of Hawker Furies here from A model, which I'm doing, but I'm getting to this point where we're just trying to finish off the seams, but they keep splitting, or there's an issue with the glue, and then I have to refill it and resand it and all the rest of it, so it's just going on forever. I've got an old 109 here as well that I'm doing as a Swiss 109 for Ian Poulton's Group Build, which is from the Group Build page. So it's in foreign service, which is a nice little group build. And I've also made a start on the Edward 109 conversion to the D1 that I did with Alicap models. I like to have a lot on the go as we get to this sort of part of the year when it's starting to head into spring, because I work with horticultural based work is what I do, so it tends to get a lot busier, so I can get bogged down in subjects, so I need sometimes to get in here to get going. I need something that's a bit interesting, like, you know, if I've got to then do sanding seams and rescribing and I'm a bit knackered, it's not something I tend to jump into. So if I've got a little bit of it on the go, if I feel like it, I can just grab something and sand it back. So I will be chucking stuff up as soon as it's ready. I don't want to really put any parts up unless I'm towards the end of a build, because the Condor has obviously caused a bit of an issue for me personally. Not that anyone's complained, I'm sure you're all perfectly fine with it, but it's gone on for so long now and it's still not finished, and we've got this last part. I'm trying to avoid that, so I won't start putting parts of videos up until I've pretty much finished the build. I think I said this in an update before, so that's just a little thing that's ongoing. I've got the Tiger, which is coming together quite nicely, so I'll show you parts of this. It's quite a nice kit. This is the Rye-filled Tiger with the full interior, so we've got the two sides of the hole here, and the cage for the bottom of the turret, the top of the turret, gun mantlet, gun breech is all together, and this is going to be quite nice. I've got a feeling I'm going to be able to keep this one separate, which is going to help the painting, so it all sort of slides together. I've kind of put in a few bits that aren't meant to go in at this stage, it's meant to be all glued together, but I'm only doing this one as a partial interior, so that shouldn't matter. So it goes together quite nice, as you can see. It's what you expect from a modern kit. It all kind of just snaps in. Nice bit of etch in there as well, which I didn't realise. So it's very well detailed, and all you're going to see is through these hatches that you've got there now. Obviously it'll be a lot less light. There'll be a lot less light because the mantlet will be in and all the rest of it, so you won't be able to see a huge amount, but I'm going to paint it all up anyway, because I'm like that. I can't seem to leave it, so I won't do a massive paint job, but I will paint everything in there just so as you're looking in the hatch everything is covered. Just getting to the whole part of that now, so I'll build up all the interior parts, paint it, glue it all together, and then work on the exterior parts in sort of two phases, so keep that separate. I've also started on the Zvezda Ferdinand as well, so I won't they won't be full video builds, it's just when the Tiger and the Ferdinand will all be part of the video sequence for the Kursk Group Build, so I'll just merge them together and show you how I'm getting on as we progress. So that will be slightly different to what I just mentioned. I will do that as I'm going through. So it might be a part up with you in a couple of weeks, I think, once I've got them to a point where it's worth showing. So I want to actually probably get some paint on the interior before I show you anything about the Tiger. So that's everything that's going on at the minute, so hope you're enjoying the channel. Thanks to everyone that's subscribed and continuing to subscribe, so that's great. I will be putting up a few reviews and a few bits and pieces like that as it comes, and keep an eye out for the next update.